This morning on the Sunday Footy Show, we've got the Grand Final edition. It was a contest that lived up to all expectations.
And Chapman's kicked the goal!
A victory that left the Cats one of the greatest teams of all.
It's over! The Cats' vindication has arrived!
And a shattering loss that broke the hearts of the Saints. All that and where on earth is Billy this morning on the Sunday Footy Show.
Yes, welcome to the Grand Final edition of the Sunday Footy Show for season 2009. What an unbelievable game of footy and a very worthy winner in the Geelong Footy Club by 12 points. Their second flag in 3 years, I should say, and an amazing performance from them. Terrific St Kilda as well, I thought. One of those great grand finals, a pulsating encounter from start to finish, and we're going to take a very close look at it over the next couple of hours. Joining me on the panel, unfortunately not Bill Brownless, he's down in Geelong. We're going to cross to him shortly, but an able replacement is Nathan Brown from the Tigers. Brownie, welcome to you.
Thanks, Jim.
What did you think of yesterday?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was an absorbing contest. Sat out in the outer, a very cold day, but it was just good. The atmosphere was fantastic. 99,000 people there, and Geelong got up in the end, which was a fantastic display of a team that's on the verge of greatness. Well,
this same team were beaten last year by the Hawks. Shane Crawford played for Hawthorn on that day, but they've bounced back, Crawford.
Yeah, they certainly have done it perfectly. All year they have been setting themselves for the finals. They got themselves up and about, and they hit the grand final running. It was a magnificent team effort. And can I just say to the St Kilda fans out there, I know you're very disappointed, but they were magnificent the way they went about it, Brian. I was so proud of them. I felt for them, and there's no doubt that they'll bounce back next year.
They were fantastic.
That's my voice, all right?
Well, I think we're all battling emotional, Shane. Nathan Thompson joins us. Big Tomo, not a day for the big forwards. They battled hard at both ends, but windy, cold, wet, tough.
Yeah, day dominated by the back lines, James. I think it just shows how good Chapman was to get 3 goals in such a big game. A very fitting end to what I thought has been a fantastic AFL season, a terrific game.
And Bristol, man, we were there calling the radio box. It was one of those games, difficult to call because there wasn't a lot of flow, a lot of ball movement, but it was tight and tense.
Skill wasn't great, but you've got to hand it to Geelong. 2 Norm Smith medals, 2 premierships, won more games over a 3-year period than any other team in the history of the game. It's not a bad effort.
No, I think you're right. They deserved the chockies, and they celebrated too. Let's take a look.
And the grand final showed how much pressure and how much intent there was. Guys sliding in their knees under the pack. There was no one that balked the contest, and it was just a great grand final to watch.
That was a record for the amount of tackles in any game. I think 118 to St Kilda, I think, in the end. They had more tackles than Geelong. Yep. Geelong had 100, but that was incredible in itself.
I love the way they embraced the great Bobby Davis up on the dais. Yeah. It was terrific. Ross Lyon, Bristol, sat here, I reckon, 2 weeks ago and said that in the 2 games they've lost, they've had it inside 50 more often than, I think, up to 60 times on both occasions, and he did finger that as maybe a problem for them, that they can get it in that much but not convert it into scoring opportunities. It happened again yesterday.
It did.
16 more they had, I think.
Although they did win, they won 3/4 of the 4 quarters. They only lost the last quarter. That's the first time in the history of game that a side has lost 3/4 of football, or won 3/4 of football and still lost the game.
Not won the game.
And another thing we spoke to Ross Lyon about too was how important the small forwards were going to be with the weather concerns. Rewalt was going to be taken out of it a little bit by the weather, and the small forwards needed to really contribute for the Saints. And unfortunately, they got a bit of the ball, but they couldn't put it through the big sticks.
A man who will be very, very excited, we haven't seen him since the Cats won their flag, is Bill Brownless. I think he's on the... Oh, look at Wilbur. Down at the Cattery.
Bill. Jim. Oh, we're fantastic down here, and can I just sing you a little song?
Yes.
And don't be sad because 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, no.
What about that, eh?
That's magnificent.
Crumb, Bill.
Fantastic.
Now, we saw you out on the ground yesterday. Great scenes. We're just saying, for a team that's been in the premiership or been in the grand final for the last 3 years and won 2 of them, they were emotional scenes for your boys.
Oh, they were very emotional, and this one meant a lot because certainly I reckon it's a better one than the 07 grand final win because a very good side they played. St Kilda were fantastic, and unfortunately one side had to lose. Coming back from last year's defeat, 8 or 10 weeks ago, a lot of people wrote Geelong off and said they can't win it. You know, they're resting blokes, they haven't got blokes fit. And to win yesterday in that type of game where they couldn't get their running game going, it was just a tough one-on-one contest for the whole day. To win that game was really, really fantastic. Meant a lot to the boys, and they were absolutely stuffed after the game. And last night it was really quiet, the celebrations, because they just played their arse off.
Where are you, by the way, Bill, with that fake stone wall behind you?
Here, I'll tell you where I am in a minute, because we're going to have a very special guest in about 10 minutes.
All right.
But here's the scenes from Federation Square there. There he is there, the little master, Gary Ablett. A huge crowd. I wasn't sure how many might turn up there because it was a freezing cold night, as you know. But they came from everywhere. It was a fantastic crowd there. And well done to all the supporters. Bomber Thompson, he's now a dual premiership coach, boys. And he won 3 as a player. So he's had a fantastic innings.
Now, Bill, well done. I know that your heart beats for the Cats. There's no doubt about that. But what happens with the players over the next few days? What are they up to? And are you going to join them along with the celebration?
I'll go and have a couple of frothies with them, Croft. But today is the family day down at the Skilled Stadium. It goes from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The players will be presented on stage there at about 2ish. And then they'll have a couple of quiet ones, and then we might have a couple more tonight, and have a few more tomorrow. I might join the boys, because I reckon I was part of it. I was in the forward pocket and kicked a couple of goals myself, I reckon, by about 6 o'clock tonight. So we'll have Mad Monday, Mad Tuesday, and Wacky Wednesday.
Well, Big Wilbur, we appreciate you jumping on. Stay down there, because I know you've got a special guest about to join us shortly.
We have indeed. And he's given me his medal, which is very good of him. So I'll tell you who it is very shortly, but he's a gun, this bloke, and we love him.
What's it a secret, Jim, the location, is it? Or?
Yeah, it is. Got to have some suspense, Bristol. We're not going to blow all our bullets in the first 5 minutes. I tell you, a man, Brownie, who played beautiful football yesterday was Paul Chapman. Normally, how do you lose a grand final when you have it inside 50, 60 times? And it's exactly what he wanted after the season finished, for someone to ask him that question overseas. But he did say that they as a group are going to have to live with that for the rest of their lives. So I agree with Tomo. I reckon a lot of that's residual from last year's game.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt they were hurting, and they carried that right throughout this year. They just didn't talk about it much, in public, but behind the scenes, there's no doubt they carried that through. St Kilda, I reckon they'll carry that with them going on next year, because they had opportunities. They really did have their chance. That second quarter, they were magnificent. I think in that first half, they had 37 inside 50s. And they were dominating. They were really dominating. They had their chance. And during the season, we all thought, if Geelong get to the finals, it's their kicking that's going to, bring them undone. But it was the reason they won the match.
It was. And if you look at that in contrast, and you're talking about last year to half-time, 6 goals, 12 to half-time last year, kicked themselves out of the game by half-time. What did they do this year to half-time? 7 goals, 1. And there's the fundamental difference
making
there.
the most of the opportunities, whereas, Stephen Milne missed an easy goal, Schneider missed a couple of easy shots. You just really need your small guys grabbing those opportunities when they present, because you don't get a lot.
Before we get to the Saints, let's just have a listen to Mark Thompson after the match.
I just felt that, we're going to win. There you go. Deep down, walking into the ground, I just felt like we're going to win. At half-time, I thought we were going to win. At three-quarter time, I even thought that we're going to win. I'm not sure whether I was being stupid or not.
Well, it proves you weren't in the end, Bomber, because you did win, and won by 12 points. The Saints, though, Nath, were in this match right up to their ears and will be devastated.
Stephen King there, of course, who already has premiership medallions from that first year. Interesting to know that he and Mark Blake refused to shake hands.
They don't get on.
Don't get on at all, don't want to see each other, don't want to know each other. And bad luck.
And made it pretty public after the game, Big Blakey.
No, wasn't it? It's one of the brothers text... Kingy or Blakey?
Blake, yeah.
Yeah, King's brother texted Blakey or something last year, and he wasn't happy about that. Anyway, there's a bit of bad blood there.
OK, well, what can you do? You just got to move on, I suppose, and get on with it. But from St Kilda's point of view, Brian, I was so proud of the way they went about it. And at the end of the day, a couple of minutes to go on the match, they can still win. They're still in the match. They still can win. Yep. And it'll be with them for a long, long time. There you have Schneider missing a really easy shot. You know, Milne.
That was a
although
tough- that was a
windy,
tough
it
one
was
in the
tough
wind.
shot, but it's windy and it's wet. But you know, I suppose it goes up the other end, and Paul Chapman.
That's
you know,
the one
he's
there.
nailing him.
But that one there, where Stephen Milne had no one between himself and the goal,
That one there is-
and didn't get it airborne.
That one should
McWalter.
definitely go through with McWalter. The Milne one might have been perceived pressure. He might have thought he was under, someone right on his hammer. So maybe, that put him under a bit of pressure to stuff the kick up.
Well, unfortunately, wet conditions, grand final, goal kicking is just crucial. The fossil man, Sam Newman, I mean, it's not rocket science what he said on Thursday night, but he pretty much put the game into scene. He said the team that kicks well early will win this game, and look what happened. St Kilda kicked themselves out of it with easy misses like some of those, and unfortunately, it was the difference.
All right, let's get to Gareth Hall, who's at Etihad Stadium. He is, of course, following the Saints wagon. Gareth, welcome to you. Talk us through last night, mate. What happened?
Well, James, at the family day as we speak, the music's pumping, but last night at the Crown Palladium there were about 1,200 people there for the after-match function, which of course included the players, also their families and supporters. And it was a pretty sombre atmosphere. Everyone was flat and dejected, there was no doubt about that. There were some high-profile Saints fans there. Eric Banner was in attendance along with Warney and also Lindsay Fox, and they heard Nick Riewoldt spoke, and he was pretty impressive too. He spoke from the heart. He was hurting, there was no doubt about that, and this was his message to the fans.
I know the players will feel like they've let you down, but you can rest assured that they gave their best efforts. We were great today. I know we haven't come away with the prize that truly defines great, but we were great today, and we've got to make sure that we keep looking at each other in the eye for the next few days, because they're going to be tough, but we can't let this fracture us. Suck it in over the next few days and learn from it and stick together and make sure that we come back next year and we go one step further, because we're at that level, boys. We're good enough. So, thanks.
And Ross Lyon also spoke impressively. He said he was proud of his boys. He said they played Saints football, which he describes as tough and hard at the contest, but he says they need to improve, and he sent a pretty strong message to the playing group.
I said to the play group, I need to know who's going to come back as committed, who's going to work as hard. If you can't do it, come and see me and I'll move you on. And that goes for every player on the list. If you can't give the commitment you gave this year and you don't want to improve, well, you can go, because we've got unfinished business.
That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That particular finishing passage there from Ross Lyon, and because it's you build so long and so hard to get to the point where you get to grand final. Would be easy, Shane, for people to drop off and say, "Geez, that was hard. I don't think I can climb that mountain again."
Oh, there's no doubt. A lot of the players will be going, "Hang on, we know we're nearly there." But we've still got a lot of hard work to do. We've got to take the opportunities when they arise, and they will use that as motivation. They'll train well, and I tell you what, if they come back and they can improve a few little areas, there's no doubt that they can go all the way next year.
Well, I tell you what, Nath, I know he's a very good friend of yours. Nick Riewoldt, in my opinion, the last month has grown enormously. Not only as a footballer, but also as a leader. I thought the way he spoke last night was magnificent. The way he handled himself during grand final week was terrific. His football leading up to the grand final, unbelievable. As Tomo said, a very tough day for big forwards, but he presented and worked enormously hard, and he is a great leader at that footy club.
He certainly is, and he's a very impressive man, Nick Riewoldt. He spoke very well. He spoke very well when he got up on the dais last night straight after the game, but the amount of times he ran into the packs and charged and jumped into the air, jumped into bodies. He didn't take a heap of marks yesterday, but he forced spills for Snyder and Milne. Unfortunately, they couldn't finish it off, but the amount of times, it takes courage to jump into the pack every time that he did yesterday, and he was super impressive, and Harry Taylor did a good job on him as well.
All right, Gareth, let's finish up with you just for the moment. What's the plan for the rest of today?
Well, the players, James, will arrive around 12 o'clock. They'll be introduced to the fans. They'll spend about an hour here. Nick Riewoldt and Ross Lyon will address the fans, and then the players obviously will sign a few autographs, pose for a few photos before they head off, I imagine, for a Sunday session, a few quiet beers.
All right, mate, we'll see if you can grab someone for us. If you can, we'll pile back out to you at Etihad Stadium.
No problems, mate.
Gareth Hall doing a very, very good job out there. Tom Hawkins, Bristle,
Yeah.
given a goal, and we saw with the replays later that the ball actually hit the post.
Well,
Now,
have a look at his body language when he kicks it, JB. This is the important thing. First of all, great smother. Great smother to get hold of it. Critical stage of the game. Gets it. Clearly hits the post. He sort of knew. You could see his sort of muted sort of excitement there. There's a clear hit of the post. The goal umpire wasn't in great position to see that deflection like we are here. But he knew straight away there was... He just had a, we had a good view, didn't he?
Yeah, that's it for me. Surely we have got the technology these days that the umpire can be mic'd up. So when it is obvious like that the ball has hit the post, a quick message. The ball has hit the post. It's a point.
But Tomo,
it takes 1 second, James.
The great Ron Barassi has been saying, I reckon, for 20 years that we've got to have 2 goal umpires. So that will never happen. If one stands on either goal post, you'll never get it wrong.
You're spot on, Jim. That's
I don't
exactly
understand
what
why.
we need.
But that may not
have that. That could have cost St Kilda a grand final. Seriously, because if Wolf doesn't kick that goal after the siren, there's every chance that it could have been a draw and we come back next week and away you go. But you cannot have a mistake like that in a grand final. You can't have a mistake like that in a game.
That's fine, Shane, but 2 goal umpires may not have been in the... They may not
if
have
they're on post to post, you won't miss that.
But they may not have been on post to post.
Massively.
They run around like bloody... I don't know what out there. They go to all different positions.
If you've got 2, they stand on each post.
They don't move.
You'll never get that wrong.
Don't need to. Do what Tomo says.
It's pretty simple.
Don't
Just
need to.
Mic up one of the umpires, have someone in the back room, and
But if no one picks it up?
Well, James,
What if
how
no one
obvious
picks
was
that
that? Well, if you don't pick it up on the camera, it's a goal. But if it's obvious like that
There's
one...
no guarantee that 2 goal umpires are going to be in the right position either.
The field umpire...
They will always stand on the goal
No, they
post. So
won't.
the Anthony Rocker one from back in the early 2000s, you'll stand right on the post, each post, and you will always get it right.
For a set shot you will, but when the ball's on the move, you won't always be on the post.
Well, where would 2 goal posts
Because you know why? Because one of those umpires, if the ball goes wide, has to cover the behind post as well. Now, you can't have 2 goal umpires in the right spot.
Hello, then if you've got 2, you're going to cover the behind post even better.
The boundary umpires do that, and then the goal umpires on the...
ball's on the move, Shane. You haven't got time.
It is ridiculous in 2009 that could potentially have cost a club a grand final. Thankfully, it didn't. What about Milburn at the other end? This was staggering to us because it was right on the death of half-time. 2 goals in a row to the Saints, became 3, and a little exchange. You need to listen up here.
From defence, scoring opportunity, 2 on 2. Taylor went to ground. Koschitzki missed it. He's kicked it. He's kicked the goal and scores a level again.
Oh, we listened to some very nice commentary there. Keep listening.
Hitting back in the last 2 minutes of the half from 2 demonstrative abuse.
No, this is massive. It's for demonstrative talk to the goal umpire. He's paid another free kick.
As Schneider finishes it off, and all of a sudden St Kilda is in front.
So 3 goals in basically a minute and a half there to the Saints, and the last one handed to them for demonstrative abuse of a goal umpire.
They go from 6 points down to 6 points up. And
the thing is, he was complaining about touching the footy, but his hands were nowhere near it. So, he obviously just needed to get on with the game and refocus, and that's obviously what they did after that. But you can't be giving away, free kicks or shots on goal like that.
The amazing part of it is it shows you the player getting caught up in the emotion of the whole situation, because when we saw the replay, he didn't get within a foot of the ball. So him turning around to the umpire and having a go at the umpire, well, what are you doing that for?
The umpire's
a goal.
right. I think there was a word in there too that the umpires don't like.
I think the umpire over-umpired that. I think he just lets that go. It's a heat of the moment. It's a grand final. And I think he should have just said, Darren, control yourself, go back, take your position, go back and bounce it.
It's a massive penalty.
I think it was over-umpired, and in the end it could have cost Geelong, but it didn't. And I think he might have thought he touched him, might have touched him on the boot. I think at the end there he clearly missed the ball, but obviously Milburn thought that he touched it.
Well, Brownie, you spoke about the job Harry Taylor did on the superstar Nick Riewoldt. He was unbelievably impressive, the big defender for the Cats. Let's take a bit of a look at it.
Well, the conditions helped him though, Brownie, I reckon. I reckon Harry Taylor did a great job, but I reckon 30% of the job was... And normally clubs denote 1 or 2 players to that particular role in their forward line now, and he's the perfect forward line defensive player, isn't he?
Forward line animal.
And not only that, not only the physical pressure and you love the way he goes about it, but the job he did on Fisher, just to try and stop his run, the link up, he was such a key and architect for St Kilda. He was massive yesterday and such an important player.
Tomo, what about the Brownlow medalist Gary Ablett?
Oh, yeah, absolutely fantastic. He's playing on the best stopper in the business, Gary Ablett. He had Clinton Jones for the whole day, and certainly I thought he got the job done. I mean, Clinton Jones has taken scalp after scalp this year. The last time these two played on each other, a ripping battle where Ablett took the points, but once again Jones was quite good. I thought Jones did a reasonable job. I mean, Gary is such a super player that for Gary to get 23 disposals, 1 goal, you know what, you'd take that. Before the game, if your coach said, what would you take? I reckon they'd say 23 disposals. So a good job by both, but certainly Gary Ablett crucial to the victory.
Yeah, look, he was great, the little champ, wasn't he? His ability.
I don't think Clinton Jones could have done a better job. I thought he was magnificent. Ablett's just a star, and we know that he's always going to lift and go to a new level, and you can't keep him down for 4 quarters.
What about Zach Dawson, Bristol? Lots of talk about him going into the game.
Yeah, there was lots of talk, and there was lots of talk during the game as well, because you never quite know what you're going to get with Zach. But look, he did some really good things in this game, and as we've come to expect from him this year, perhaps some things that just looked a little bit jittery. But I'm now beginning to believe that that's just him as a person and as a player, and he's not always going to get it right. But look, yesterday he did enough. He did his job there, I would say. Tomo, would you think?
I thought he did do his job. I mean, that there is a crucial mistake.
But yeah, no,
you've got to enjoy it, make the most of it. You know, you just never know if you're going to be there and experience that again. So it's good to see, and they're only having a bit of fun.
Said Alaskan hat brownie rather than fox hat. Now, we saw something amazing, Brian, from the commentary box last night, and that was Darren Milburn. Explain what happened there.
Well, after the game had been completed, it was basically not many people actually saw it, because everyone was in the rooms enjoying. This was when they actually come out at night time, probably about 7:30, after the game's been run and won, and they just go and ponder what they've just achieved out in the middle of the G, and you can see Cameron Ling there. But when all the players had left the ground, and they're all in the room singing the song, and they'd been in the rooms for about 20 to 25 minutes, without exaggeration, Darren Milburn was still out on the ground doing a very slow lap. Happy to soak up the atmosphere. I'm just not sure the reason. He would have known that the team's song was being sung in the rooms, that all of that enjoyment that you get in those moments after the grand final happen in the rooms, the real close moments with the people that really matter. You celebrate with the fans, and then you go in the rooms and celebrate with the people that are close to you. He didn't have any of that. He stayed deliberately out on the ground by himself and enjoyed the support of the fans, which I found remarkable.
Did you say he had one of his children with him?
He carried a kid around, yeah. I don't know whether he's got kids, whether it was his kid, but...
You happy with taking the kids out? I'm happy with that, because I reckon
he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was missing out in the rooms, but he preferred to be in the position out on the ground. It's never happened in the history of the game, to my knowledge.
It was 20 minutes beyond when the players went down the race before he got down the race himself.
Does that say to you that maybe he might think he's retiring, maybe?
That's what I thought, but then I keep hearing that he's going to go again. He's 33, 34 years of age. I keep hearing he's going again. It looked like a goodbye lap to me, but I hear that that's not the case.
Maybe it's more to the point that I may never be here again with this opportunity, and I don't know whether he does have kids or not, but if it was, maybe he's just saying, this is my last opportunity. I'm actually going to take it to walk a lap with someone, who I care about, and take it in this way.
Boys, I thought we'd seen the absolute last of this. I thought this was a black art line through this ever happening again. But we've got some wonderful retirees here heading around, some of the greats of the game, and being recognised as they should be.
They're
Mickey
all very recently retired players.
Oh, no.
What? Mark Bickley.
How is this possible?
What are you doing there, Bix?
That is a 15th lap of honour.
Is he doing a lap of honour because he got Adelaide to the finals this year, or what's he doing that for?
Well, surely that vision, I think we need to have another look at it. Surely that we've spliced that in to a previous lap of honour.
That's not this year.
That can't be this year.
Can't be this year. If that is this year, he has broken the world record for the most number of laps at the MCG in the back of a vehicle, happening to be a Toyota, of course. But that is just a remarkable achievement, Mark. Well done.
I think it's got to the point where there's a lap of honour happening now, and he just jumps into an open-top car.
And they're so used to him doing it that they don't even question why.
Around he goes.
Was he in the grand final parade as well, Brian?
Oh, I don't know.
Why could he be there? He hasn't played for 5 years.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe they could rename it the Mark Bickley Memorial
Lap of Honour.
There's a man needs to have a long hard look at himself. We're going to go to a break. On the other side of it, we're heading back down to Geelong to catch up with Billy Brownless.
Everything you get.
Joel, your fitness staff has done an amazing job since round 14 when you met the Saints and you had a lot of injuries to actually get the side back together and through to the grand final and have everyone fit enough to play that 4 quarters of tough, intense footy. A terrific job by the staff behind the scenes.
Yeah, it was, mate. I think we learned a lot last year from playing cross mob in the grand final and going down. We took a lot of sort of injured guys throughout the season, and this year we decided if you're not right, then put your hand up and take one for the team. There's guys that can come in and fill out, and we had a couple of tough weeks there where people were writing us off, but look, yesterday was just a very special day for the footy club and a day to remember for a long while.
Joel, is this premiership better than the last one? Was there more meaning to it all?
I think so. We've just had a lot of pressure on us from the outside. Within the group, we think we deserve another one too. So it's sort of good to get the monkey off the back. And I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to put it into words, but it's very special.
Joel, Jimmy Bartell only had the 19 touches yesterday, but went to Lenny Hayes after quarter time, and he's laid 16 tackles yesterday, which was the most of any player, equal most of any player in the history of the game. Can you talk us through his game and how important he was after quarter time?
Yeah, Jimmy was great yesterday. He went and did the job on Lenny, as you said, and it was just very important all day, just the little things that he did and the leadership that he showed by going to Lenny and just trying to shut him down because Lenny was on fire early in the game. And Jimmy's been a fantastic player all year, and he's very stiff, probably not to make the All-Australian side, and he probably should have if he played up in the midfield throughout the year, and I probably would have been kicked out of there, but that's all right. But,
hey Joel,
he's been important.
Interested in your comments earlier where you said last night the boys took it pretty easy and didn't really have a big night. Was that because you, perhaps in the first one, you probably go over the top and you tend to forget what's happened? You wanted to cherish the moment and actually remember what happens?
We were just buggered last night. There was absolutely took everything out of us, the game, and I guess the boys just want to sort of enjoy the next couple of days, and you want to remember what you've actually done. And look, we're just looking forward to getting together again today and just sharing moments about the game, sharing moments about the year, and then having guys like Bill hanging around as he does. And hang on, and no, he's good. So.
Joel, can you believe what an unbelievable career you've had so far? 3 years in footy, you've played every game, I think. You've played in 3 grand finals, 2 premierships. I don't think a player's had a career like yours in the first 3 years. It's quite extraordinary.
No, it was a good time to come to the Geelong Footy Club, I can tell you that. And myself and Harry Taylor, Trav Varco have been very lucky. Those 2 boys have played in 2, I've played in 3. But just, I mean, without the people that I've got around me, the midfield that I play in, and just probably the best fullback maybe to ever play the game, and maybe the best player, Gary Ablett, to maybe ever play the game also. So I don't know how to put it, but I've been extremely lucky.
What about the brothers, mate? Do they give you a call from time to time and go, you're kidding yourself, aren't you?
I got a call from... I think it was Munich last night when I was in the shower. Bill brought it in to me. Greek Island.
What were you doing in the shower, Bill?
Bill usually hangs out in the showers after the games. I'm not sure what he does there.
Actually, speaking of the brothers, we got 2 brothers here on the couch with Mum. Here they all are here. We're actually at Joel's house. This is Joel's house. And there's Mum. There's the brothers there. Dad's over here. He's been cooking a barbecue all morning. Go around a bit more if we can. There's Dad. Now, here it is. So, mate, they're all here. They're all here waiting to have a chat with Joel, and we're taking up their time, boys. But a lovely family, very good stock, of course, and everyone's very happy down here. And he hasn't got a girlfriend. That's the only thing we've got to find for the boy. We've got to find him a girlfriend.
Well, Bill,
I'm happy to help him out for a couple of days, but we've got to find something for him.
Bill, maybe if you stopped hanging around, he'd find a girlfriend.
No, they like the big fella. Mate, the daughters and the mothers come up, and always get stuck with the mums, and Joel just has a chat to the daughters.
All right, Joel, we thank you very much for coming on, mate. Croft's got the prizes for you, Shane.
Yeah, Joel, thank you very much for coming on. The Aquila shoes for you, David and Goliath clothing. Man, what a fuss voucher. There's $100 for you. The King Chrome tools, you get the socket set. So you can do a bit of work there. Krispy Kreme donuts, you can launch into those. Footy season's over, so you'll eat them all yourself. And Home Timber and Hardware, a $200 gift card. Congratulations. And also the two of the hottest tickets in town, Jersey boys. So if you get a nice date, you can bring her to town and take her along. She'll have a magnificent time. Thank you, congratulations, and have a great break.
Yeah, well done, Joel. Thanks very much for joining us, mate. We really appreciate it. Congratulations again, and I'm sure you're going to celebrate hard, and you richly deserve it. Well done.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
And Bill, you don't go anywhere. We're going to send you down to the ground or around Geelong to see what's happening down there.
Do something, Bill.
Yes, don't worry about that. We'll be down there and I'll find a couple other players to just hang around.
All right, we're going to take a break. BT is going to take a look at the big game next with the panel. A 12-point win to the Cats, their 8th premiership, as I said, but really it was a 6-point go because Max Rook kicked a goal after the siren. An amazingly tight game. Chapman, the Norm Smith medalist, was fantastic. Maxi Rook, we've just taken a look at. Snyder kicked a couple, but really should have had 4. And had he kicked 4, obviously, we could have been looking at a whole different scenario. Graham, a magnificent game of football. Unlucky not to win the Norm Smith medal. Would have if the Saints had won. And Joel Corey, Bristol, a man we haven't spoken about much, has also had a terrific final series.
Always gets it done, doesn't he? Just does his job and he plays that role and gets a lot of the ball. But the first quarter was dominated. Really, when you look at it in terms of individuals, Lenny Hayes just had an outstanding quarter. He was clearly the best man on the ground. The tackling was fantastic. Still wondering about the rain at this stage. It had rained on and off prior to the game and even during this first quarter a bit. But guys like Rook and James Kelly, I thought, played quite a good game as well. Mooney gave them a good target down there up forward and was a good start. They kicked 3 of the first 4 goals, the Cats here, and it wasn't until late in that. In fact, in the first 7 or 8 minutes, they dominated the inside 50s. And then basically in the last 20 minutes of this first quarter, St Kilda regained their composure and were able to start scoring.
And I think a lot of that had to do with Lenny Hayes in the middle of the ground, Brian. You mentioned how good he was. That is probably the best quarter of football that I've seen from a midfielder in a grand final just over the years. That was awesome. He actually took it upon himself to start winning the contested ball. And once that happened, St Kilda got their run and it brought Goddard and a few of the other players into the game. And if it wasn't for a few of those misses, the Saints certainly would have been further in front.
That kick there was magnificent in those windy and wet conditions. But also Luke Ball, I thought he was tremendous in that first quarter. A lot of, pressure, tackling, and I thought he led the way with Lenny Hayes.
Yeah, the wind was extraordinary in this first quarter of football. It was gale force. The flags have been blown off the poles. It was incredible. So you can't blame them for bad goal kicking and perhaps even some bad skill there. But Snyder, one of his few touches for the day, and was able to kick straight there, Brownie.
With the amount of inside 50s St Kilda had in the first quarter, they still only had 5 scoring shots. So the Geelong backline stood up incredibly well, and they rebounded, but just kept coming back in there. They kept spoiling. They kept running it out. So I think 17 or 18 inside 50s for only 5 scoring shots is fantastic by the Geelong defence.
And Brownie, from a St Kilda point of view, that is so relevant. All these modern footy terms, like when you've got the game on your terms or when you've got momentum, however you want to say it, when you've got that, you've got to score. And St Kilda had a huge passage of play yesterday. As Bristol said, the second half of the first term and then pretty much all of the second quarter, but they weren't able to make that count on the scoreboard.
No, they weren't. It's disappointing, and the guys involved will be ruining their chances this morning. Schneider, I thought he played pretty well, Schneider. I mean, he's created a lot of opportunities for himself, but he missed a couple of easy ones, which he normally would kick, whether it's the pressure of the game. Milne had a day he'd rather forget, but he still had a few chances to kick goals, and he could have finished with 2 or 3. And like I said, if you don't take your chances, like Sam Newman said, if you don't kick straight, then the final's going to get out of hand.
I agree with you, JB. Even the second quarter here, which we're witnessing now, I mean, St Kilda still had all of the play and had all the... But in just 10 minutes of football, Geelong kicked 4 goals.
If you had the scoreboard blocked off, Brian, halfway through this second term, you would have thought the Saints are 5 goals up.
Yep.
They were so dominant in general play, but they were just unable to make it count on the board.
And the important players, Ablett, Hawkins, Chapman, all able to get a piece of it. This one here from Hawkins is the dubious one. We had a look at the pre-game. That clearly deflected off the post, and you can see his celebration was somewhat a little iffy. but pretty clear decision in the end. But this man here, Ablett, a couple of really crucial touches at the right time, Crawford, in the game I thought he had.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, you know, Chapman gets the ball there under pressure, but he's able to slot it straight through the middle, and, you know, it's all about scoreboard pressure. They're still around the mark, and so they go into half-time knowing, look, we haven't been playing great. We need to get the contested footy. We need to get the ball inside 50 more to give ourselves a chance. So they reloaded at half-time, changed a few things around, brought Stevie Johnson up the field a bit because he had no possessions in that first half, and they were able to work their way back into it. But St Kilda were really up and about. They were lucky that the siren went when it did at half-time, and they could regain their focus, and that got them back into the match.
Well, that was the controversial free kick there, and that gave them 3 successive goals in a row. Not just 3 goals, 3 goals in the last minute. Some people actually said to me that were at the game, they'd gone to get something to eat or gone to get a coffee earlier, and in the time they were away, the 3 minutes they were away, they'd kicked 3 goals, St Kilda. It was a remarkable finish to that particular second quarter. They've won 2 quarters at this stage, St Kilda.
But that just makes
only 6 points in front.
That makes those comments by Bomber Thompson even more amazing for mine, where he said earlier on, I just always thought we were going to win. Because, as I say, watching the game, they were getting smashed in the first half.
You know what's impressive? I thought with Chapman, he was probably the most important player. He's the goal you said Chapman kept his composure before. You look in the background, Max Rook was fending off 2 blokes to give Chapman that space. He was fantastic. The pressure he put on, 2 goals, and he set up a few as well.
And just looking at that footage there with Zach Dawson getting his fist on there, you know, the game was level.
Yep.
You know, they could have won that game. And it just shows you it's a game of inches. You need the ball to bounce the right way. Both sides had the right mentality. They were courageous. They kept fighting hard. It just shows you it's a game of inches, and you just need to take your chances if you get them. Yep. And what an amazing match it was.
Also, as we go to the break, thought Tommy Hawkins did a good job. He's a good kid and he's had to endure a fair bit, and I thought he contributed.
They rated him a 4 or something, which was remarkable. I thought he was way better than that.
No, I don't agree with that. We're going to take a look at the Saints on the other side of this break, Saints fans, so don't go away. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show, the Grand Final edition, and while we celebrate with the winners, we commiserate, of course, with a very brave loser in the St Kilda Footy Club. I thought they were terrific yesterday, and their players, Brownie, will be devastated right now.
They certainly will, but when they look at their season in a whole, it's probably
that cost them. It wasn't endeavour, it wasn't the way that they went about it, it wasn't their attitude. They were magnificent, and they've just got to bottle this up, a bit like Geelong did last year, and say, right, we're going to get better. We're going to make sure when we do have an opportunity like this, we're going to grab it next time, and I think they will.
Shane, the real class for Geelong stood up when it mattered and converted. Talking about Chapman, you had a look at him before, Mooney, Ablett, and that's perhaps the thing that St Kilda will rue, is that they had the chances, but you just need those real A-graders when you get those little openings to kick the door in.
Yeah, and Chapman's 3 goals, 2 of them were under immense pressure, and he was snapping the ball around his body. One, he had to virtually snap and kick right up over the top of the opponent coming at him.
Not as if they were set shot goals, though, is it? They were on the run. Snap.
Yeah, they were under pressure, and he obviously practices them. And in those windy, wet conditions, no wonder he won the Norm Smith medal. You just got to convert, and he did.
Tomo, you talked about Lenny Hayes before. What an unbelievable start to the game he had. Multiple possessions, in fact, double figures in the first term, and nearly got the Saints into a winning position on his own.
Yeah, he did, and credit goes to Bomber Thompson. Really, he realised that Lenny Hayes had got on top in the centre of the ground and was really giving the St Kilda the drive to get them on top in this game. He ended up with 24 possessions, so after having 11 in the first term, the move to put Jimmy Bartel, who's not a known stopper, Jimmy Bartel, more of a finder of the ball himself and a player that goes forward. So to put him on Lenny Hayes, who then had 16 tackles, was just a fantastic move and maybe a match-winning move in the end.
And of course, it was fantastic. His clearance work, even in this first quarter, was really, really important, and it gave them some nice, clean ball. And just seeing one of your leaders play a really good first quarter was encouraging for the rest of the team. Another guy that I noticed most, looking at the votes in the paper today with the Norm Smith medal, a lot of guys had Jason Graham in there. Brownie, what did you think of his performance in this game?
Yeah, he's been a good player for a long time for St Kilda. A lot of people think he's a flashy player, but yesterday I think he took a massive step in people's minds about his ability. He cracked in hard, he won a lot of contested possessions, he ran and he used it well, and along with Lenny, I thought...
if St Kilda had won the game, he probably would have been the Norm Smith medalist.
And a brutal focus on the footy too, which hasn't always been what he's been credited with. Out of the side during the year, I thought he was magnificent, Jason Graham, and certainly one of the Saints who will be holding their head up high today. Mind you, they all should, because it was an unbelievable grand final, and they were tough losers. We're going to take a break. We've got the handball, or at least the first half, coming up, and I think we've got the two boys ready to go. Jason Cloke is one of them, and Basher Hooley the other. Look at them just getting assembled over there.
Look at them.
That'd be Travis, Jim.
Travis Cloke. Yeah.
Serious, aren't they,
Travis
boys?
Cloke.
Look at them. There's not a word spoken between them.
Basher's getting married tomorrow, so he's got a dual role to be focused, and Trav's just a superstar. So that is coming up next on the Sunday Footy Show. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. The great man Lou Richards yesterday announced as a legend of the North Melbourne breakfast. He was there and in fine form too, Lou. It was great to see him. Well, his handball today. We are at the grand final stage, and this is what it's all about. 10 grand goes to the winner, courtesy of Dulux. Shane, worth doing?
Worth Dulux.
And therefore, we're going to do this in two halves. Give it a bit of punch, Shane. Let me do that again.
Be happy about that.
Courtesy of Dulux. Worth doing?
Worth Dulux.
Thank you, Shane. Now, who have we got competing in the grand final?
Well, we have Basher Hooley from Essendon. Congratulations. Good luck. And Travis Cloke from Collingwood. $10,000 to the winner. $5,000 to the runner-up. Basher Hooley is going to go first. Good luck.
What's the rules first, Shane?
Now, the rules are they're going to have 5 on each hand, and then we're going to go to a break. And then we're going to come back for the second half.
An elongated handball.
This is a grand final, and this when it matters most. Dulux.
Worth doing?
Worth Dulux.
All right, here we go. So 5 each hand. Break. 5 each hand.
Here we go. Oh, boy.
Jeez.
7. Oh, the line's good. I just finished explaining the rules. 7. Cop that, Brownie. 7. 7. He's on target. He's looking very consistent. 7. On the line is good.
On the line is great.
7.
Very nice.
How many has he had?
That's all.
Don't give us any more. Shane, you've got to remember how many they've had.
Yeah, he stopped.
Here we go. Oh,
5.
Oh, no.
7.
Come on, Trav. $10,000 is at stake here.
7.
Oh!
5.
No.
7.
That's it.
That's enough.
That's it. Basher.
Oh, I tell you what, controversial first round.
Hang on, Bash. You just got to clean up these balls, mate.
Clean the balls.
All right. 7. Don't forget, we've got 3 more rounds after this. 7.
Oh, crumbs bristle.
Gee.
7.
Shit.
Oh!
Bash is looking for some pocket money.
Hang on, stop the clock. Is that? I think that's 5.
it. Yep. This is extraordinary.
Come on, Trav.
Shane, I don't know whether you're capable of adding them up when you go, but you've got to do it, mate.
Oh, I'm not adding them up.
Yes.
Come on, Shane.
7. You add them. I call them. 5.
There we go. We're up to
12.
43.
7.
We're up to 50.
7.
To 57.
Oh. 7.
That's it. That's it. Stop the clock. We are going to go to a break, Jim.
Shane.
But when we come back,
there is a massive discrepancy here.
So we can do that again, do we?
Trev, you're 12 behind, brother.
that's all right.
Don't know what's going on.
First half. Geelong lifted yesterday. You can do it.
All right, well, don't worry. We're going to take a break on the Sunday Footy Show, but we've got the second half of the handball coming up a little later on. Travis Cloke, 12 behind. Basher Hooley getting married tomorrow is up and about. Lots more after this.
Now, JB, so excited about your performance. We wanted to have a look at this one by your co-host, Gary Lyon. Have a look at the Mick Jagger lips with a bit of start me up here. Now, Gaz demanded that he be a solo act at the opening of the footy show. He personally demanded. He didn't want any of you guys interfering with his Mick Jagger little go. You reckon he went out of 10? Oh, no. Rhythmless, Gary.
Has Big Gaz been doing a little bit of sneaky weight work? How about the pectorals?
Oh, he's a big unit
of Big Gaz.
That's one thing you can't say, but he's got good size about him. But how did you reckon he went, Brownie, just on the night?
Not overly great, did he, Jimmy? He's not as accomplished as you as dressing up like that, but the sweat patches...
Let's have another
the sweat patches under his arm is what really concerning me.
He says on initial thoughts that he rated his performance about a 5 out of 10. Up on several reviews as the hours went by that night, he got it up to about an 8 out of 10. Gary, I would have stuck with the 4, mate.
It's like he needs a man bra there, Brian.
Titties are dropping around, aren't they?
Oh, I tell you
Hello
what.
to Gary if he's watching too.
I live in the most glass house of all time, so I'm not throwing any stones. Now, for Honda Power Equipment, let's get stuck into some team reviews. And Tomo, why don't we get underway with Collingwood?
Yeah, certainly can, James. Collingwood. They ended up having a very, very good year. They finished 4th. They had 16 wins, 9 losses. That's a great year in anyone's books. Draft picks 14, 30, 46, 62 and 78. So they're not going to get a crack at the draft until a bit later on. Dane Swan had a fantastic year, as mentioned. He was Brownlow favourite, even though he didn't end up polling fantastically. He had a wonderful year. Shane O'Brien, clearances and tackles, just shows his worth to the side there. Also, Jack Anthony kicking 50 goals. He fell away late in the year, but certainly did a good job throughout the season getting on the scoreboard. 37 players used. That's very interesting. Normally clubs that make it to a 4th position on the ladder don't use that many players, and they also had the 4 debutants, which is very good. They got some players in there, Jim, and got to see what they're all about.
Well, Mick Malthouse loves to roll them through. He's very good at it.
Certainly does. Untouchables, Didac, Pendlebury, Swan, 3 guys in their engine room. Very disappointing for him not to have Pendlebury late in the year with that injury. Certainly he was a big loss for them.
Okay, any gone?
Well, we're going to get to some trade bait. We'll get the boys to throw the board up. If they keep rolling, it would be wonderful. There it is, a bit of trade bait. Leon Davis, Paul Medhurst and Sean
up in the room. Look at Leon.
What are you doing, Tomo?
What about it?
What's wrong with Leon?
Brian's man, Leon.
Well, 10 good years.
Well, he's had 10 very good years, but unfortunately, Brian, Leon just struggled a bit late in the year. And I just think...
So everyone that plays a game late in the year...
I just think there's a lot of worth there.
on that,
they could get the number 1 draft
on
pick.
that structure, you wouldn't have got past year 1.
I was actually... no, you're probably right there, Brian. Yes.
Personal.
Tomo, how can you... Davis is an all-Australian player and you're wanting to trade him.
Well, I'm just throwing it up and maybe something the club might think about.
Going, Tomo?
Pardon? Going. Yeah, but let's get off that subject, Brian. Anthony Rocker, Chris Bryan, Anthony Corrie and Ryan Cook.
All right, there's the Magpies. They have had a terrific season, no doubt about it, getting to the prelim final, as did the Western Bulldogs, courtesy of Honda Power Equipment. Shane, you're going to take a look at the doggies.
Yeah, they had a terrific year. So close yet so far, but they'll learn a lot from this year and they'll only get better, I think. They finished 3rd on the ladder with 16 wins. Their draft picks, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Barry Hall, whether or not they get him on board. They really need that key forward just to help him out. As a release kick when they're under pressure. Draft picks 15, 31, 47, 63 and 79. The season leaders, the clearances is where I look. Matthew Boyd, he was just outstanding, had a sensational year. He's a real key to the Bulldogs. Akamanis with 43 goals. That's why Barry Hall would be sensational down there. He could help share the load and no doubt kick plenty of goals. We look at the untouchables. Adam Cooney. Definitely. Matthew Boyd. Sean Higgins, what a classy player he is. A beautiful mover. Dale Morris always does a job. Brian Lake, has he re-signed yet? Not sure, but they don't want to let him go. Very, very important. And Lindsay Gilbey, he's a terrific player. Sets him up from half-back. Now, trade bait. I've thrown up a few young ones here. Josh Hill, Andres Everett.
Ryan Griffin,
yes.
Only because his best game in the prelim.
Yeah, it was terrific. Only because they got good currency, good value, and you might actually get something back in return. So that's the only reason you throw up those.
So you're
type
happy
of
with
players.
those ones, are you, Brian?
Well, not really. I mean,
You are very, very biased
Anyway,
to your own little boys in your own stable.
Scotty Welsh, he's moving on, so we wish him all the very best. Wade Skipper, not sure what's going to happen there. Jason Ackermanis, I hope he plays on. He's a terrific player, had a sensational season. Why wouldn't you play on? Brad Johnson, yes, he should play on. Nathan Eagleton, he should play on.
Well, why have you got them in the going
because
gone
we're not
list?
sure what they want to do. It's not about what we think.
Well,
it's
you
about
drew
what
the
they
list
want
up
to
and
do.
you put them in the going
Yeah,
gone.
because we don't know if they're going to retire because they've had enough.
Brownie, Ryan Griffin, would you, if you were in charge at the Western Bulldogs, look at maybe you'd get plenty for him, the open market, I'd imagine.
You would get a fair bit for him, but I don't think Ryan Griffin, at his age, is the sort of player you want to put up for a trade. I think he's a game breaker. He's not where they want him to be at the moment as a performer, but I think he will get better with time. He hasn't come on as well as Cooney. Obviously, Cooney's a fantastic player, but he is going to be a super player for a long time.
What about if Hawthorn said you can have, we'll give you Jared Roughhead for Ryan Griffin?
You'd obviously take that because...
So you would trade him. There you go. So you agree with me.
Well, Hawthorn aren't going to throw out Ruffy, are they?
Well, you never know. They need a forward and they might throw in a few draft picks as well, so who knows?
Silly
what
person,
about your mate Bob Murphy, overcome enormous injury again this year and illness and just general afflictions, Brownie?
Yeah, he had real bad gout problem all year, Murph. But towards the end of the season, he was having painkilling injections 2 and 3.
Can wear you down, can't it, the gout?
Yeah, it certainly can, especially Murph.
What about yourself, Brownie? What are you doing, by the way?
Actually, he might slot in there at the Bulldogs or St Kilda. I reckon, actually, Brownie would be perfect there. Good goal kicker.
What's going on?
I've got no idea at the moment, but I'll certainly talk to a few clubs and see how we go from there. Going to America on Monday, so I'll get my management to do it. Margaret from Qantas, hi to you.
You'll be training over there, will you, Brian? Nathan, will be training in Las Vegas?
Yeah, Richo, because he wants to stay fit. He's obviously going to try and play on, so we'll be running around the streets of Vegas.
All right, well, there's a reason why you won't see either of those two in this package. This is, as we go to the break, a recognition of some wonderful people who won't be playing AFL football in season 2010.
Forget the times I've had here and how much I love this club. So thanks a lot.
Outfit.
It's hard to dance in heels and a G-string.
How did you rate that one, Shane? You've done some pretty special performances. Where does that one rate?
It was fun. But I've never danced in an outfit like that before. I know you have, Brian.
On camera. You also flew out over the crowd. That would have been good.
That was the best part of it, no doubt.
What did you have to do with the alpha? Did you have to tuck it in? Or?
Yeah, where's the boys?
I tucked under.
Where are the boys, Shane?
I strapped it.
There we are. So you're flying out over there. I'll tell you, the crowd love this.
And how about this bit? Oh, we just missed it. But in the second part of that, you actually went out again, Shane, and it looked like you started to lose it a bit and you started just getting dragged around.
Yeah, absolutely had no idea what I was doing. I was just hanging on.
There it is. Here we go. He's losing it. He's losing it.
What sort of nick would you say you're in there compared to this time last year? You
lost it. About 20 kilos heavier, Nathan, but had a fantastic year and totally enjoyed it.
Chunky.
you know, it's very
chunky, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very,
I'm going to say you look a bit porky. For Honda Power Equipment, it's time we banged on with the season reviews, and these two teams obviously played off in the grand final, so they got plenty to be happy about. Tomo, get started with the Saints.
Yeah, Saints had an absolutely fantastic year. Just fell short in the big dance. 15 wins, 9 losses. That's incorrect, so well done, boys. Draft picks 16, 32, 48, 64, 79. Lee Montagna, season leader with kicks, 399, fantastic. Lenny Hayes, what a player he's been. And their captain, Nick Rewalt, 78 goals. Just a wonderful effort. They only had the one debutant this year. Players used, they had 30. That shows you, by not using so many players, what a year they had. The Untouchables, Rewalt, Hayes, have a look at them there. Just fantastic players. Trade bait, Matt Maguire, it's been touted he could leave after not getting opportunity this year. Luke Ball's an iffy one, but I thought I'd throw him in there. Gone. Max Hudson and Lee Fisher. Max Hudson's been a wonderful servant for the club, and if he decides to retire now, he's been a great career.
Well done, Tomo. We're going to bang through because we think we have Harry Taylor down there with Bill Brownless. The Cats, Bristleman, courtesy of Honda Power Equipment.
Yeah, let's have a very quick look at them. Had a great win, of course, yesterday, winning the premiership. 21 wins for the year, just the 4 losses. Got a 17 and a 33 pick there, not too bad at all. As we take a look at the season leaders in the statistical departments there. Have a look at that players used down the bottom, 33. 5 debutants. All goes well for their future when you're debuting 5 guys in a premiership side. That means you are going to be able to replace any players that retire. Played every game, just 2. That's not so healthy, but in their case, probably rested a few at various times through the year. The Untouchables, I thought, Gary Ablett speaks for themselves. They all speak for themselves there. In fact, they've got a whole team of Untouchables. Why would you want to let anyone at Geelong go? But you've got to let a couple go to try and gain a little bit. So trade bait, they've got a couple of possibilities there. Ryan Gamble, Davey Johnson's been around a while. I'm not sure what he'd be worth on the open market, but anyway, you throw up those couple of players, and gone. Matty Egan's announced that he won't be going on, and their skipper, dual premiership captain Tom Harley, you would think would probably step away.
Thank you very much for that, Brian, and thanks, of course, to Honda Power Equipment for their help with the season reviews. Great season for the Cats. Big celebrations down there after their 8th premiership, their 2nd in the AFL proper, and Bill Brownless is a happy man down there with their big centre-half back. Wilbur.
Yes, Jim, it's all happening here, mate. We're down at Skilled Stadium now. There's thousands and thousands of people coming down here for the family day today. It's actually already underway here. And I've got the great Harry Taylor Jr., who was an absolute star yesterday, played on Nick Rewalt. And Harry, mate, I read today that every player you play on, you have a dossier on the players, and you obviously have one on Nick Rewalt.
Yeah, certainly. Ever since I got drafted, I keep a bit of a diary or dossier, if you like, of all the players that I've played on so far, and just a little note about some of their strengths, a few of their weaknesses, and the best way that I should go about trying to beat them.
Yeah, and so how did you attack yesterday's game, mate? Playing big game, grand final on the superstar Nick Rewalt.
I sort of knew very early on that I would be playing on him should we get through. I knew from that Friday the week before that if we were to get through against Collingwood that I'd probably be playing on him first up. So I tried to prepare as normal as possible, just going through my normal routine and just reading up on him and just doing everything as normal as possible. And
take us through that big grab that you took there late in the game. You know, still there was only 6 points in it, and in the back pocket, and you just took that absolute hanger H.
No, I wouldn't go probably 2 or 3 times a week, so it was relatively easy.
Harry.
And you didn't get 30. Sorry, Jimmy Brayshaw. Harry?
I want to know if you just tucked into a couple of cognacs last night, Big H, because I know you go a bit weird with your drink of choice.
Yeah, well, I've been looking around for a few bottles, but so far I can't track any down. We tried a few establishments last night. There's plenty of establishments around Geelong. The Edge obviously is a nice one, and the Valley Inn as well. But both of those places didn't have any in stock, so I'm going to have to go fishing somewhere else for some.
Harry, congratulations! Great game yesterday. Fantastic win. You're going to celebrate for another few days, but then what are you going to do? You're going to go away on holiday. You're going on a footy trip. What happens over the next few weeks?
I'll go back to WA pretty much straight away. I've got a couple of weddings to go to, so looking forward to going back there and relaxing and just putting my feet up, I guess, and getting a bit of WA sun back into me.
Harry, 2 years in the AFL, coming over from Perth. You've played in 2 grand finals, and now to get the win, you're very blessed, and you must be a very happy man. Yeah,
as I said before, just absolutely privileged to be playing with this this great side, and ever since I got drafted, everyone's really just welcomed me along, and not only the players but the whole town. And as I said, it's just sensational to be part of a premiership team.
Is this the best part of the day? You're about to be introduced to the crowd out there at Skilled Stadium, and you've got a clear head. You can go out and you can really soak up the atmosphere. Is this one of the real best parts for you?
Yeah, it will be, particularly when you reflect on last year when we were out there in the sort of cold weather, and there was only about 1,500 people, and I dare say there'll be probably 10 or 20 times that this year. So it's going to be great to go out and see all the fans that have given us a lot of support when we did cop a bit of flack during the year.
He's a really good boy. I want to ask you about a couple of players that'll be watching this in another room close by, Harry. Cameron Ling was sensational, and Nick Del Sano. You must love the red nut.
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player. He always plays that defensive role, but somehow seems to find the football as much as all the other midfielders. So terrific work ethic, and just a sensational player.
Jimmy Bartell, 16 tackles made. He was fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of his work's gone unnoticed all year. I think particularly because he's had to play a bit more of a defensive role, which he's probably not as used to, but he was sensational. 16 tackles is incredible.
Andrew Mackey was fantastic down back.
Yeah, he was brilliant as usual. Just he'll be sitting in there probably wearing some of George's clothes like he usually does. But he was sensational again, just really reads the
we can't go through the whole team, Bill.
No, Stephen Johnson, who had a poor first half, but worked himself back into the game. Harry, didn't he, old Jono?
Billy, just buttering up his
balls. He's very mercurial, I guess, and he just put a lot of pressure on and did a lot of little things that you might not have noticed, but if you watch the replay, I'm sure you'll get a lot of credit.
And that caveman there, Max Rook, he was sensational, rookie. He's right here now with us. He won't come on camera. He's got the worst dress sense I've ever seen, but he was sensational, wasn't he, Harry?
Yeah, he was amazing. He just puts his head over the ball all the time, and he's tackling pressure. He's all the work he does in and under the packs. He just has no care for
Just cut Bill off, please. We've had enough of him. Just make sure the drinks card's on the ready at the Valley Inn, Wilbur. But for you, Harry, congratulations on an amazing game and a terrific year. Well done.
Thanks, Jim.
Perfect work from you two. We are going to take a break, our last break, in fact, for the year on the Sunday Footy Show. We're back to wrap up, and of course, the second half of the handball's next. Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show, the second half of Lou's Handball. But before we do that, we need to thank someone very dear to us at the Sunday Footy Show. Sam, come over here, please. Can't remain seating in the background there. Get yourself over here. This is a beautiful lady. Sam Rawlings, of course, Jade's much better half, and Maddie Richardson's sister has been a great part of this show for, I think, 6 or 7 years, Bristle Man.
Yes.
She's going up to Brisbane because her husband's going to become a coach of the Lions. So, Sam, thank you very much for everything you've done.
On behalf of all of us here, Sam, and all of the crew out there, you've done a wonderful job. 6 years, fantastic. Thank you. Have a great couple of years up there. We're sure you'll be back.
Good luck, Sam. You absolute superstar. OK, that's Sam Rawlings there. This is Shane Crawford here for the second half of the handball, and Travis Cloak has a big job ahead of him, Shane.
He does, but we have belief in him. You're going to go first, Travis. You are on 64.
And add the scores as we go,
That's
Shane.
right. Basha Julio's on 76.
All right, here we go.
Trav. This is
Come on, Trav.
$10,000.
Watch the ball drop. 7. 14, Shane. 7. 7.
85.
7.
92.
All right.
There we go. He's on 99. Basha Hawley, away you go, mate. 76.
7.
And up to 83.
7.
19.
7.
97.
He's consistent.
No!
He's consistent.
107. Just hold there.
Oh, I tell you what.
This is it, Trav. You've got to believe a few tens, mate, and you can be back in it.
Hang on, I think Bash has got one more.
Come on.
What are you
Come on,
doing?
Brian.
Come on, Croft.
5.
Oh! 112. Away we go, Trav.
7.
7.
Oh!
Hang on. Hang on. 116. 123. 130.
7.
137. Congratulations,
All right,
Travis.
very good finish from Trav.
Now, Basha, you got to believe, mate. You can do it, and away we go.
Oh, is he still going?
7.
7. 129. A bullseye to win.
7.
Oh, there we go. He's on 136.
7.
Oh, he's hit
That's
the
it.
front.
It's all done and dusted.
He's got one more up his sleeve if he wants to hit it there.
7.
There we go. And he finishes with 150. Congratulations, Basher. Well done, Travis. Fantastic effort. Now, Basher, over here, you are going to receive $10,000.
Courtesy of Dulux Basher Hooley. There you are, me boy. And that is, of course, you're playing on behalf of Adam McPhee. So this is a big figure for you to have won for him. How much of that comes your way?
Just half of that.
Half of that. All right, beautifully done. Well,
nice.
mate, well done. Not only, we're going to get to Shane and Trav in just a sec, mate. Good luck for tomorrow. Big day in your life. Hope that goes really well.
Yeah, I really look forward to it. So I've been waiting for it all my life. So I'm a very, very lucky man to have a wife like I have.
And what's her name?
Ruba.
Ruba and Basher tomorrow do get their marriage thing done, which is going to be fantastic. Big pre-season too for
not all what it's pumped up to be.
Adam McPhee was any type of bloke, he would let you have that $10,000 for your honeymoon.
All right, and of course, Trav, Shane doesn't go away empty-handed.
No, Trav, congratulations. You get $5,000, so all the best with that. Well done on this year. And Dulux, Jim.
Worth doing?
Worth Dulux. Thanks so much for your sponsorship.
Yeah, no, they've been great. All right, and by the way, thanks to everyone who's helped us with the Sunday Footy Show. We've got Dogs and Ben who do a great job of running the show. Everyone down here on the floor who are fantastic. Francis and Dino, all the makeup ladies, the beautiful staff that give us a hand every week. Thank you for watching. Thanks to the boys for being a part of it. Have a great summer, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you bigger and better this time next year. All the best.